So strangers come up to me on the street every day and they say, Brandon, I really need a haunted house adventure for Weird Frontiers. And I tell them, hey, Dark Dwelling on the Prairie. I did the playtest for it. David Beatty ran it. He did a great job. We had a lot of fun. We pretty much almost TPK'd in it. We had some really bad rolls. But I'm going to be telling you about the adventure. It is available, and I will have links down in the description if you want to pick it up in print or PDF. I like the cover. Something about the big kind of strokes of art. I don't know, like the I don't know, something about the way this guy looks I think is really neat. Just a different type of art than I've seen. But it still kind of has that old school flavor to it. So compatible with Weird Frontiers. It's compatible with DCC RPG as well. You could easily make some tweaks to it, and it would be a DCC RPG adventure. Let's take a look at the back. Of course, you know me. I'm gonna just be spoiling this, so I'm gonna try to get right into it, let you know everything that you can expect with this adventure. So it says it's by Mark Manchester and Andrew Patch, with bonus encounters by Stefan Surratt and David Beatty. The Weird Frontiers adventure is for posses of 4 to 6 characters of second level. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It came with this little bookmark here, which is cool. They've got a new project coming up in September, Horror Cinema Classics. And it says that a role-playing game that plunges players into the eerie, neon-lit nightmares of 1980s horror movies. So be on the lookout for that. There's code right there as well. I like this page right here. It has all the backers there. It's got this Ryan the Boss Ross, his reward. He's in this adventure. And just the way this looks is neat. I'm telling you about the Horror Cinema Classics, where you can get their stuff. I just dig that here on the inside cover. And then we've got who worked on it and who did the art. Christopher Torres is in there, so you know what to expect with him since he did so much from Weird Frontiers. And then here's the playtesters, David Beatty, and there I am, Brandon Geringer, and I survived the encounter that pretty much thwarted us all. And I'll tell you about that little story right there when I get to it. So it starts off with you are chasing the notorious Sagebrush Gang. They're a gang of murderers and thieves, and they are not above engaging in foul, dark arts. So they do have supernatural powers. They are they have the classes much the way that you will have when you play this game. And here they are. And I really dig the way this is laid out with the big wanted, how much their reward is, and like this lady here is a Calavera, this guy's a Bedlamite, this is a Tommy Knocker, this is a Revelator. So it's just neat. You can use these characters if you wanted to pull a couple of these back or reuse them. It's got a little bit of a write-up about their history and their stats. And I dig the font. It was one of those things where I started reading, I was like, you know what, that's a really good font for a Weird Frontiers adventure. So good job on that. Now there is a tragic story in behind this. So this is just going to kind of start you off. You're chasing this posse down. This guy here, Ryan, the boss Ross, is going to leave half of his guys behind and kind of crap on them and take off with some of the other crew, leave them to be caught while he escapes. But they're going to unfortunately escape right into this terrible horror situation that you're going to all find yourselves in very soon. So I'm going to tell you here the prelude here about the Sagebrush Gang. Chasing them down, they're going to set up a trap for you. But this is all about this tragic tale of Eli Verrill and his family. And so his wife died of consumption, and he sought ways to reverse her death. He consulted with priests, mountebanks, even those who dealt with the occult, and an occultist offered Eli a glimmer of hope, and it was a tome containing a spell that would bring back the dead. It's a little bit of a Pet Sematary vibe going on in this adventure, but it's pretty sinister because of what he has to do. He didn't think twice about it as this strange man, about the motives of this strange man who told him about it. And it actually was a trickster of a demon by the name of Balfagor, who relies on lies and deception to ensnare souls for his master. So he returned home, pored over the book, learned the spell. The book was titled De Vermis Mysteris, of course, The Mysteries of the Worm, quite well-known book in H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And he read it. His sanity was gradually stripped from him. He was obsessed by bringing her back, and it would need a blood sacrifice. So unfortunately, the 2 blood sacrifices would be his 2 children, Micah and his daughter, Sarah, to the demon who gave them the book. Micah was drowned in the family well, and Sarah was killed in a horrific ritual in the root cellar. She did come back from the dead, his wife Elizabeth, but she was a vengeful undead. When she saw what he did to her children, she was quite vexed, and she unleashed vengeance upon him. She dragged him out to the cornfield, eviscerated him by reaching her undead claws into his stomach and pulling his now worm-infested intestines out. She strangled the life out of him with his intestines and nailed him upon the scarecrow cross. The evil of the acts committed at the Verrill homestead cursed the house. Elizabeth still roams the grounds looking for her children. Micah and Sarah's spirits haunt the house and seek souls for their new master. And old Eli keeps watch over the fields. He'll let in visitors to his home, but he won't let them leave. So really sinister backstory. I think it really is cool. And there we've got all these different Sagebrush gang members. And then you're going to have where you're chasing them, and you're chasing the leftover members of the Sagebrush gang, and you're going to be very thirsty, you're out of food, and the water's very scarce, so it's going to be kind of a driving force for you. Then all of a sudden this storm's going to show up, and it's going to have a really cool vibe to it. It's really sinister. You can tell that it's supernatural, or it's something that's beyond the normal. And this is where we had such a funny moment, because you're going to come across this cornfield and this house, and there was a moment where the lightning's striking. It starts to actually hit some of the characters in our group, and they're just getting their asses royally beat by this lightning. It was destroying trees all around them, and so we've got party members on the ground, dealing practically on fire from this lightning. And me and another guy are just looking over this kind of crest and looking down at this cornfield. And we're like, you know what? Should we go into the cornfield? I don't know. I don't really want to damage these people's crops, because we couldn't tell exactly what was going on at this house. And we wanted a safe passage here, but we didn't want to damage their corn. But it was just funny because right next to us was pretty much a guy just getting absolutely dealt with by the lightning. And we were like, I don't know. Maybe we might need to make sure that we're nice and polite. Just a funny moment. Again, I really dig this style of art. I think it's really cool. And the cornfield, unfortunately, has some monsters in it. They are evil spirits called Kadeho. They've got a blood drain attack. Normally, they kind of steer clear of people that go in there, but they're so ravenous, they will set upon you. Now, you will find the scarecrow and Eli is in there, but he's not really the focus of this. He's already had his fate dealt to him. So, there is some stuff where you can go into the near and get some kind of more information about this whole adventure, and that's always fun to have that. He is in the near. He'll attack you with a spirit shotgun. So he's actually much more dangerous in the near than he is as a scarecrow. So that's pretty cool. He can control the field. He can kind of close it around you. So he's going to kind of contain you. You've got the thunderstorm out there too, raining down lightning. That's going to, if you're running this as a judge, this is where you're going to really be able to control people by this lightning, by the cornfield. And then you're going to go into the farmyard, and there's multiple places to go. Now, we went straight to the barn, and that's where most of us met our demise. Because we had horses, and we wanted to stable them. When you go into the horses, this is, of course, a cool piece of art that I'll show you here in a second. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of dead horses in there. They've been there a very long time. Now, one thing about this place is that it's cursed, and it's been like this for a very long time, but stuff really hasn't changed. It's as if it just happened. But there is a layer of dust over the place. But when we went to the barn, we found all these dead horses, but then all of a sudden, these terrible helminth demon worms came out and started attacking people. There was a lot of confusion. They jump onto your face, they vomit eggs down into your mouth and stay latched on, make sure them eggs get good inside you. And later on, their young is going to come out of you. So really nasty. Took down a bunch of us. These helminths did. I was able to escape away, and I think one other person was, because I just wasn't around exactly where the main attack was. But really cool scene, really nasty. These things are really, really rough. In the hayloft is one of the Sagebrush gang people. It's the Carson DeSoto. He's the Bedlamite. He did also get infected with them. So he's kind of the character that's alive. He's a bad guy. You may want to keep him with you. You don't know whether or not he's been impregnated with these things. And then sure enough, at some point, his stamina is low. They might come exploding out of him. So you've got that kind of moment of a infected person with you that as a referee, as a judge, you can kind of control when that happens for maximum horror. So that's pretty cool. I really dig that a lot. I like these big, full pieces of art in this adventure. Really, really dig it big time. That's a great piece. And so the well, if you go investigate it, that's where, unfortunately, Micah met his his demise. He's going to be down in the well. He's going to kind of lure you with his voice. It's going to remind me of a bit of a Simpsons episode with Bart Simpson, as he's going to be hollering out for his paw and help. He threw me down the well. He's cold. But then once you look down, this thing's going to sprout out, this water demon that is him. And he's going to try to drown you, grab you. You can save him. His spirit is in the near and is held by the water demon. And it can be turned by a revelator. It will retreat into the well. And you're going to continue to hear Micah, of course, calling out for help. He can be seen in the grasp of one of the water demon's tentacles. If the posses can free Micah from the spirit's grasp and kill the demon, his soul will be released from Balfagor. From his influence. Now, inside the house is a tin soldier of Micah's in the bedroom. So this is where a little bit of the investigation comes. And if you go into the house first, you're able to get that. It's going to give you a moment, if you show it to him, it's going to kind of give him enough strength to pull away from the water demon for just a round. It's going to help you kill the creature, obviously. Killing the creature during this round frees Micah and awards the posse 2 luck if they defeat the demon and save Micah's soul. So it's a neat thing where you can kind of go into the near and help this poor boy out. And I dig it. And it's got a really cool horror vibe. All this stuff can just really be ramped up. And I think it's nailed the horror aspect of Weird Frontiers. So there's the barn as well. You're going to go into the root cellar. And you can get into it either from the house or from the back. And the back is locked. You have to break that open possibly or unlock it. And then you're going to descend into what is just really a conjuring type of moment here. You've got these rickety stairs. It's dark. There's a smell of earth, but there's also like the sweet kind of sickly smell of decay. You can only, the ceiling is low. There's a bunch of insects all over the place and in the corners. It's just got a really creepy vibe to it. There's canned jars with black tarry substance in it, which you can foolishly try to consume if you want, and it's going to give you some corruption. And I like the fact that the character with the lowest luck will discover the Vermis Mysterious, the tome. And it may even be in a spot where you looked before and then all of a sudden it kind of appears. So it wants to be found. And so that's very interesting. You reading it, of course, is not good for you. But unfortunately, Sarah's spirit has gathered and corrupted the worms and insects living in the cellar. She can manipulate them to form into a creature that's entirely made of vermin, as you can see here from this picture. Even more disturbing is that she retains her childlike voice, and it will ask the PCs to help her to go to sleep. She tries to draw them in by pretending not to understand what has happened to her. You're trying to help, and of course, you're not going to be able to see her very well until it's sprung on you. This is a really good and probably one of the strongest horror moments in this adventure, I feel. It's going to tell you about it right here. I do like this kind of the way that it's not in a box, but just the different uppercase font here. It's very good. And she's saying stuff, I've been waiting for Papa to tuck me into bed, but he seems to be busy. Will you tuck me into bed? You can have a really good moment here, role-playing this little girl, and then all of a sudden, the lights in the cellar are extinguished. You're going to have to fight her in the dark. She's got swarm traits. Your gun's going off is going to illuminate, give you a little bit of lighting in there. If you can mess with the magic circle, so there is a magic circle that's drawn on the ground. If you can disrupt that, it's going to help you destroy her. She can be affected by spells and the Revelator's turn ability. And again, she also has a thing where she is in the near with this creature. You'll see that she's a young girl covered in worms and insects, a look of pure terror on her face. You want to try to separate her from the worm spawn and free her from Balfagor's control. And she's got a doll that's in the house. And so it's kind of much like the Tin Soldier. You show it, and it's going to give you that moment. And I just like how both of those kind of work together. It's a little bit of kind of bringing back their humanity, showing their humanity to them, and then helping them to free their soul. So it's going to tell you about how you need to fight in the dark cellar there. And then you're going to go to the Devil's Outhouse. This was a bonus encounter by Mr. David Beatty. And this is where you're going to find, unfortunately, another one of the Sagebrush gang have met a terrible demise in the outhouse and is now infected with demonic maggots, as you can see here. And they are an unholy swarm. They can pretty much animate corpses, and she's going to become animated. It's got demon traits. They're harmed by holy effects, and so it's just a really neat little fun little encounter. It can infect you. A lot of this stuff in here is going to be able to, from the big worms to these demonic maggots, are going to try to infect you and then kill you and then make you a corpse puppet. So very cool. Then you're going to explore the farmhouse proper. So it's a 2-story house. You've got the map here. And there's going to be a Bible in there that you're going to find. You're going to find it's pretty well normal. The woman, Elizabeth, the lady, she was actually quite a good cleaner. She liked to keep stuff very clean. So you're going to be able to examine around, find a little bit more of the information that's going on in here as you explore the different rooms. You'll go up to Sarah's room, and that's where you'll find Eli's wife, Elizabeth. She's trying to bring her back. Eli's attempt to bring her back from the dead was only partially successful. She is returned as an undead creature akin to a Tommyknocker. While not evil, she was driven completely mad by the ritual, and she learned that Eli had done to her children. Of course, she was consumed by infernal rage. So a neat interaction you're going to have with her. You're going to have to do some grit checks all throughout this adventure, of course. You could try to calm her down. You need a DC 20 personality check, because she is kind of, even though you're going to be so probably easy to pull the trigger, once you kind of read the story about what's happened, you may have some sympathy for her. If you don't make that personality check, she's going to put her daughter's corpse down, which she's got there in her hands, and she's going to attack. But you can tell her, hey, look, Liz, you can try to leave if you, as long as the PCs leave the room immediately, she's going to be like, hey, you need to get out of here. You're waking up. You're going to wake up Sarah. If you do leave with that personality check, she won't attack you. But she's an enraged zombie is her stats. Cool piece of art right there again. And then you've got Micah's room. It's going to give you the information once you find it about the toy tin soldier. And whenever you touch them, you kind of get a sense of the boy. It's going to help you with that little bit of a clue that is attached to him. So whenever you see him down in the well, that you're going to use that with him. And then you've got the master bedroom here. That's where you're going to find a journal. And this is one thing that's really neat about it too. You can also find a couple things too if you need like guns in case, because ammo's a little bit scarce and you may need some more firepower if you want to give that to your players. It's going to tell you in the journal, this is what's happened. And this is one thing that's really neat. There's this handout journal entry. This is very difficult to read, and I actually like that. Give this to your players, show this to them, see if they can actually decipher that, as some of the handwriting from back in the old days is quite difficult to read. And it's going to tell them exactly what he did with this pact, with this demon. And it's obviously written here as well for your help, but if in case you can't read that, which it was quite difficult for me, I found. Knowing the demon's name and saying it to him will give a minus 1d to all the actions of the demons once you fight him, because this guy is going to show up. And of course, yes, he definitely gives me Poltergeist 2 vibes. If you're trying to clean the house, cleanse it, do last rites or something like that, you're going to attract the attention of Balfagor, and he's going to show up. And he's going to show up as this old man, and you're going to see him. He's going to say that his horse was killed in the storm and stuff. He's trying to come in. So even if you're outside or you're inside the house, he's going to start banging on the door. You'll see him coming through the cornfield, and he'll answer the door. Thank goodness someone is here. It seems I'm not the only one trying to seek shelter from the storm. You can really play this guy creepy, and those that know, obviously, Poltergeist 2, I think that's obviously an homage to that incredible, horrible dude from that movie. He doesn't need permission to enter, but this is where the big fight's going to happen at the end. He's about 70 years old, very tall. He's garbed in obviously what you see, this black suit. It looks like an undertaker. And he's going to take the fight to you. He can vomit worms. He's got spells. He's got demon traits. A bunch of the Kadeho are going to fight along with him. So you're going to have your big battle against him. And if you kill him, it's going to lift pretty much the curse on the house and the farmland. Crops begin to wither and die. The house quickly becomes dilapidated as the time now advances. The Kadeho, they're all perish. It says, however, the other horrors are the work of the book, and they will remain if you have the book. Leaving the cornfield will be relatively easy. There's no Kadeho to harry them. If the posse has killed Elizabeth, Eli will let them pass without attacking. If they take the Vermis Mysterious with them, then their troubles are just beginning. It's going to have all the information you need about this book. Really good stuff here, trying to get rid of it. You're cursed once you have it, and what it does for you. So I like that. There is an Appendix 2, Table of Random Occurrences within the house. Really creepy stuff. It's a D14 table. There's a booming knock at the front door. No one's there. Writing appears on a surface saying like "get out" or "stay forever." You hear a blood-curdling scream from the next room. So this is what's going to really make it a nice haunted house right here. There's a slimy mucus that seeps through the walls. There's like a stench of rot, sound of a young child crying that you can't really figure out where it is. Really good stuff here to really use here and there to ramp up that creepiness. And then you've got a bonus encounter here, the Pale Man and the Strange Symbol by Stefan Surratt. Really cool. I like how it references the elder god Volgthub, which of course I created. So anytime I see anything I've created, I'm like, whoa, awesome. It's a supernatural creature, this Pale Man, and it's gonna be a really kind of a trippy little thing where you're gonna encounter him several times, and he's digging a grave. I don't want to spoil it too much because I think it's going to be really fun if you check it out. Leave something to your imagination and be like, I want to know exactly what that is. But it's a really neat encounter that he's added to this adventure and that you can use anywhere. So this has got a lot of cool creepiness in it. Terrible story and, a real horror. Some really neat moments, infestation. For us, it was really fun. I felt the creepiness of it. We didn't really want to go into the barn. I didn't want to go in the barn first. Some of us we were split as a group. I didn't want to go to the barn because I actually said we're probably going straight to the boss or something like that. It wasn't the boss. It was definitely our end, or most of our group's end, to the point where we really couldn't continue. But it's a neat adventure. I dig it. This is definitely one that I would tell you to grab and use for Weird Frontiers at second level. I just dig. I like all the infestation stuff. This terrible story with the family. The root cellar is just really creepy. That's where I'd really just ratchet up the horror and try to make it as moody as possible. And I hope you like it if you pick it up. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you comment on a video, especially when I first release it, it just helps it be seen by the algorithm. If you just say, hey, I watched your video, I watched this, cool, I like it, or that looks dumb, whatever you want to say. Just it helps the algorithm if you want to help out the channel get noticed and let people see this, because it may be a thing where someone would really like to see it, but just the way that YouTube works, it's tough for it to get seen. So thank you as always. Very cool adventure here for Weird Frontiers. Stay tuned to the next video, and I'll check you next time.